We're happy, Lord, that the leaders have continued to lead. And Father, this evening, as we reminisce on the past and as we look towards the future, may you help us, dear God, to give you respect, the honor, and may we operate in dignity, knowing that you are with us and you'll never leave nor forsake us. May you be with every speaker tonight, and may you be with everyone who is listening, be it here in our presence or via radio, television, the internet, or whatever medium. May you help each person to remember that leading this country and protecting this nature isle is paramount. And may you help us all to work together to make this country the best place to work, to live, and to enjoy life. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Brother Lambert Charles. Tonight, we have been informed that in residencies around us are a number of elderly people whom we must try our best not to disturb. So we are going to be toning down the music. We will keep our voices on a moderate level, and we will be asking you, the audience, to come a little closer so as to have us have the meeting and still respect our elderly who are among us. And coincidentally, we are celebrating the month of the elderly this month, the month of September. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to have a number of speakers, and they're going to speak on a number of issues tonight. We're going to roll the program, and I'm going to start by talking on an issue that has captured our imagination for the last year and a half, and that's electoral reform. But very simply, on the electoral reform matter, we have made some progress, and you know that the government, from suspending the act, the bill that they brought to Parliament last May, to this month of September, they've made amendments to the bill. And then they sought to bring to Parliament a bill that still has controversial sections, and we call it Section 31. The section, simply put, they're wishing to authorize the commission, the Electoral Commission, to go overseas to confirm electors. And from the United Workers' Party's position, we are saying the Constitution makes provisions for there to be a parliament, and it shall sit in Dominica and Dominica only. The Constitution makes provisions for there to be election, and it shall be held in Dominica and in Dominica only. It makes provisions for registration, and we are saying that we are offering that in the process of confirmation, and the word confirmation is not in present law, this government is bringing confirmation to Parliament. But even if you accept confirmation, revising of the list, or re-registration, we are saying as a party that we want all these things to happen in Dominica. And the question of disenfranchising people who are outside of Dominica, and particularly those who have been there for more than 5 years, let me make it abundantly clear. The United Workers' Party is not participating in any disenfranchising of any voter. I am taking it that the list that was used for election last election, is a good list. If in any way it is corrupt, it can only have been corrupted by the Electoral Commission, not the United Workers' Party. And if they're about to change to amend, to revisit, to confirm, to re-register, then the first thing they must do is to employ people at the commission who have the requisite integrity to keep the right to vote sacred in our country. So, we are proposing that the commission is going to develop a form to capture information from you, your name, your address, where you work in, everything about you, and they're going to capture your photograph and your fingerprint on that form. And when they're satisfied and they've verified all the information, a voter ID card. Now, in the law or in the bill, they're saying national ID card. Let me just deal with that one time. The Constitution and the present law does not authorize the commission to issue national ID cards. So from the United Workers' Party's position, we are saying issue voter identification card, period. If the state wants these cards to be used to transact business in the nation, like your ID card, your passport, your social security card, so be it. But a national ID card is like the passport. A passport can be issued to a child. And we know now that the Immigration Department does not include the name of our children on passports. So if your child is 1 month old and has to travel, that child has to have a passport expiring in 5 years. That's a national ID card. The law authorizes the commission to register people who are 18 years and over. So they can only give and issue a voter ID card. So that is point 2. That's what we are recommending. Remove the word national and put the word voter. And what you do and how you use your card when it has been issued, good. The second thing is the confirmation process. I said that they're going to capture information on a form. Those of us who have relatives living outside of Dominica in the United States or anywhere else in the world know that you can access the application form for the passport online. You go on the government website and you get the passport form, you download it, you sign it, you can send it down, and the process of preparing a passport for you can be commenced. So we are saying, whatever form that the Electoral Commission proposes or designs, put it online. Simple. Just put it online, and whenever you visit Dominica for a christening, for a baptism, for first communion, for confirmation, for a wedding, for a funeral, for carnival, for Easter, for Creole in the Park, or World Creole movement, World Creole music, you attend or you go to the Electoral Commission where they will extract the final information, take your fingerprint and your picture, satisfy themselves that you have met the requirements to be on the list, and issue your national card, your ID card, and you go back. Now, we did this, and those of you standing here know that we had a first passport, and about 10 years ago, we changed passports. And the deadline was given within which you must come in and change your passport. And we did that, and everybody in Dominica now has a new passport. So if we do the confirmation registration process in Dominica, it does not cost the government all the kind of money that they want to spend to go overseas. And the greatest thing is, we do not trust the government. That's a problem here. It's a question of trust. We don't trust the government to handle the issue of voter registration overseas. I'm just saying to you, imagine that the commission declares Mervyn Paul's home in St. Thomas or St. Croix, wherever he's living, as a registering office. That's what I'm leaving with you. Just think of that. We do not trust them. So we are saying employ enumerators that are clothed in integrity, honesty, and ethics. That's what we're saying. Let the commission select them in a manner that we can trust who has been elected. Remember, if the list is corrupted, it is not and cannot be the United Workers' Party that would do so. We are not in government. The second issue on trust, on the 31st of May this year, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Gerard Burton, wrote the president of the United Workers' Party and said to him that on the 1st of July this year, we are going to do a confirmation process. The 1st of July came and went. The 1st of August came and went. The 1st of September came and went, and no confirmation has taken place. It may be that Bishop Malzer, who is the only person authorized to confirm people in the Catholic Church, was absent. That is the only reason I can give, because we have asked the commission, why is it you have not yet done this that you promised you would do, and they have not yet answered. Now, to do that, they have to employ enumerators. To employ, you must pay the employee. The money must come from the government. Is it possible that between the 31st of May and the 1st of July, the Minister of Finance, or the Minister for Finance, did not make the funds available to the commission? That's a question we need to ask the Prime Minister. And if he did not make the funds available to the commission so they could do their work commencing on the 1st of July, then the question for the Prime Minister, if that is the case, why were funds not made available to the commission? These are questions I am asking, and it is left to you to go asking the Prime Minister to answer them for you. So that is, and if that is the case, then the action is also unconstitutional. Because the Constitution says, in the execution of the duty of the commission, they shall not be subject to the authority of any person or institution or authority. So it means that our electoral commission is not free to do what it has to do. That, ladies and gentlemen, is very serious. Very, very serious indeed. So all this confusion they're talking about, we don't want people to come down and vote. We don't want the people in the diaspora to come and vote. That is not the case with the United Workers' Party. We are saying once you have gotten on the list legally and you are eligible to vote, you shall be allowed to vote and you should be allowed to vote. But it must be done legally. So let us cleanse the list. So let's get the commission to go back. Now I'm going to close. We heard the Attorney General. Now here's something he did. In May last year, he brought the bill to Parliament. Then they withdrew it. Then he told us on about the 17th of this month, he will be going back to Parliament with the bill. He put it on the order paper and then held a forum last Monday. And after a set of intelligent Dominicans had addressed the Attorney General and all the government ministers and officials that were present, the Attorney General of Dominica, a public servant who worked with me at Mount Bruce, insulted us. And he insulted me, Nicholas George, by saying in the forum that we had said nothing of substance to him for the 2 hours that we'd been there at the parish hall. And I walked out. I cannot, and I would not take the insult as Nicholas George, and I didn't take it for you. I walked out. And the next day, the Attorney General, who had said the day before that he had heard nothing of substance in the forum, informs the nation that they are removing the bill from the order paper and they're going to proceed to have additional consultations. Did we say something of substance at Parish Hall? Or did he hear something after? So I am saying to you, the people of Dominica, we must stand firm on the ground that all confirmation, all first communion, all marriage, everything to do with our election in Dominica shall start and end in Dominica. When our people who are overseas visit, they will apply for their ID card, they will receive it, and they will return. And when election is called, they shall return to vote. So nobody will be disenfranchised. And more importantly, the United Workers' Party will not and does not intend to disenfranchise anybody in Dominica. Remember, I said to you as I started that the United Workers' Party education train is continuing. So that is class 1. Now remember, there is going to be an examination after these classes. And that examination will require you to do just one thing. When you go to every polling station around Dominica to vote, you look only for the name of the United Workers' Party candidates. The symbol will be the SAW, and you make sure that your X is next to that name. And once you do that and we vote the Labour Party out of office, then you will have graduated with distinction and honor. It is our duty to remove these dishonest and deceitful public servants that are riding roughshod over us. We are going to continue. We're going to continue with the program, and at this time, it pleases me to bring another educator from the West Coast, the Honorable Hector John, to address us. Let's welcome him to the podium.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me say good evening to you and thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the time for change is now. Ladies and gentlemen, we also believe fundamentally that the Skerrit-led administration is attempting to work a trick on the Dominican people. The only reason why they pull back the bill that was coming to the parliament is because they want to use the electoral list as it exists now, ladies and gentlemen, with 70,000 persons, 70,000 names on the list, when in recent times we have concluded that is only about 40,000 persons living in Dominica. So you have to stand, ladies and gentlemen. You have to stand, Dominicans. And we have to follow those of us among us that are prepared to lead to ensure that the Electoral Commission and the government listens to us, because it is clear that change is a must, that change is needed, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, in building this country, health is critical. If our people are not healthy, how can we build this country? And in that regard, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go into the Scottsett constituency and call one of our candidates, ladies and gentlemen, a medical doctor to address you, ladies and gentlemen, on some of the things we believe can improve the lives of the people of this country, ladies and gentlemen. I call Dr. Sam Christian to address you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from Soufriere. Yes, let me see that wave. Scott's Head, Galion, Little Bagatelle, and Point Michel. It's a joy to be here tonight. I am your doctor, and I want you to listen carefully to what I have to say. I want you to draw near and listen. Dominica needs you. So I want you to turn to somebody next to you and just tell them that Dominica needs you. Tell them, Dominica needs you, and I need you. Tell that to your neighbor around here. And if there's a police officer, tell them that Dominica needs you, and show them some love. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most solemn duties of a doctor is to step out of the operating room or casualty and to speak to the family who is hanging on every word and to say to them, I am sorry, but your loved one did not make it. I have had to do that many a times. And many of you may have been in that situation where you are listening, sitting on that bench in casualty, sitting on that bench outside theater, waiting for news from the doctor of how things went. I have good news for you, and that is Dominica is not just the map of Dominica. Tall is her body, with Soufriere and Scott's Head down there by the toe. Dominica is you and me and all the people around the world, Dominicans in New York and in London and in Toronto and in the Virgin Islands and in the French Islands and in China and in Venezuela and in Cuba. Dominicans are a people here and abroad. And ladies and gentlemen, too many times in our lives, we have said that Dominica is behind God's back. And we have wished, why couldn't we not be from a country that is rich and well developed? And you say to yourself, why me? And how long will Dominica remain that way? Yes, indeed, Dominica is not dead, but Dominica is in serious condition, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Dominica is in a bad condition, and if Dominica was a patient, Dominica would be in the intensive care unit. Dominica would be in ICU, ladies and gentlemen. We know, we have heard it so many times, that Dominica is at the top of the list of everything that is bad. When it comes to cancer, when it comes to obesity, when it comes to chronic non-communicable diseases, when it comes to gun crime, when it comes to road rage and road accidents, Some people on my chat group would say, why is it in Dominica these vehicles are always ending up with the wheels in the air? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, and the blood sacrifice is another issue. We know those things, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it that Dominica has to be at the bottom of the list of everything that is good, as far as minimum wage, as far as the number of tourists coming to Dominica, as far as agricultural inputs? Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues will talk to you more in detail about these things, and my job is simply here tonight to tell you that it breaks my heart when I hear of patriots who have gone over on the other side and they did not live to see the redemption of our country. And I want to make sure that you and you and you live to see the day when Dominica is bouncing back, ladies and gentlemen. My job is to take care of you and all the nurses and the doctors in the health centers, in the clinics, in the hospitals, in the doctor's office across this land, want to make sure that you get to see the day when Dominica rises again. It is September 1809-18, 1 year ago, when Dominica was devastated and mashed up by Hurricane Maria. I remember standing in my living room holding hands with the others of my household. And this little 14-year-old girl said, "Oh Lord, please save my life, because if you save my life, I am going to be good from here on out." I don't know what kind of promises you made to God, but I was saying pretty much the same thing in my heart. Any of us could have gone. A tree could have fallen this way instead of that way. The river could have continued to rise. I was speaking to a family in Portersville, a young man and his wife with 2 children. They were upstairs, a very familiar story. And when the roof went and the wind was swinging furniture all around upstairs, they went downstairs. And the river came in and the river was rising. And they were holding those 2 little children. It was like a movie, like a horror movie. And the water was rising. And there was nothing else that they could do but wait. Because there was no going outside. There was no going upstairs. Wait for the water to rise and to finish them off. But thanks be unto God, the flood subsided and they survived. And you have heard hundreds of stories like that all over Dominica. I live in Point Michel. I live in Point Michel, a stone's throw from the ravine. I had no idea what went on in the ravine that night. All I know, there was a small house in front of me and we could barely see when the roof went, bit by bit. The Sibouli Ravine in Point Michel is a dry ravine. And when we traveled to Roseau for refuge after the hurricane, we would see people washing their clothes in Loubier and in Newtown. At least their rivers were still giving them a little water, but the ravine in Point Michel had no water at 6 o'clock in the morning. And within 50 yards from where I live, 19 people perished in Point Michel. 19 of our friends and family and neighbors perished. So we remember that day, and as a party, we had a press conference this morning, and we gave thanks and praise for survival. We gave thanks and praise that we have another chance, like this 14-year-old girl said, to make right of what's happening in Dominica. So I say to you, my friends, that you have to do something to break that curse of cancer and of early death in our country. So if you have not done your pap smear, if you have not done your mammogram, gentlemen, my brothers, if you have not done your prostate examination and your PSA, and if you do not know what your cholesterol is, please, please, I want you to make a decision tonight that you're going to get this done, because something exciting is going to happen in Dominica, and I want you to be around to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was growing up, Dominica was the mecca for medical care in the Eastern Caribbean. People would come to Dominica to have their operations. And Princess Margaret Hospital stood like a shining light on a hill. Not today, ladies and gentlemen. We have to listen to the nurses, we have to listen to the doctors, and we have to put things together to revamp this medical system of ours. And in closing, I will say, that I would say that I have cast my lot with people who have sacrificed and who have taken a lot of blows to get us to where we are today. And everywhere I go, people are saying to me that Dominicans are turning. People would say to me in various parts of the constituency of Soufriere, be careful when you go there because they are hardcore laborites. And we have gone there and we have been well received and people are listening to us. Yes, we've been cussed out a few times, but that's okay. We're going to keep going and we're going to keep going and showing them some love. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff, could you come over here a second, please? I need someone to come and just help me out there a little bit. We have to, in our hearts, be very positive and express the joy. And all we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, today is that we want to uplift our spirits. I'm calling a gentleman with the golden voice so he can just come and lead us in this little song. Okay, I'll hold this up here. All we are saying.
All we are saying
Peace.
is give peace a chance. Let me hear you.
Come on, let's work.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Everybody.
Banu, l'amour, Banu love. All ye are saying is give love a chance. One love. All we are saying is give love a chance.
And it's going to take a lot of work. All we
are saying
we're going to work
is give work a chance. Vous allez travailler? All we are saying is give work a chance.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, workers.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of speakers. I would like our speakers to get backstage and line up so that we can have our presentation smoothly, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go into a farming community and call to address you a patriot, a real patriot representing the interests of his people in and out of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, because we believe that there are millions of dollars to be made in the agricultural sector, and the United Workers' Party is poised to deliver to the farmers of this country. So I call to address you, the Honorable Hector Sparks John, the parliamentary representative for the Salisbury constituency.
Well, workers. Yeah, I feel in the vibes. Last year at that time, reflect a little, where were you? And 1 year after Hurricane Maria, we have lost loved ones. We have lost our homes. We have lost friends. Our country was in a deplorable condition. But 1 year later, some of us, we are surviving and trying to survive. But brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, before I touch on the area that they gave me, let me just bring you greetings from the warm people of Salisbury, Kulibistri, and Monrachet. And I must say that Salisbury is not Jade Patat, but the lifeblood of the United Workers' Party. And brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the United Workers' Party under the leadership of Lennox Linton will be your next government. Brothers and sisters, I like to make it short and sweet on the podium because we have a lot of speakers and I want everybody to get an opportunity to make their presentation. But let us look at an area, brothers and sisters, after Maria that got affected. And I will take you back to Ross universities. The government of Dominica does not want to touch Ross. I asked a question in Parliament, and I have it with me. I just want us to understand what the government is doing through the Speaker of the House. When we go in there and ask questions on your behalf, people will say we doesn't ask questions. We doesn't raise concerns in Parliament. But I have been in Parliament since 2009. And it's blockage upon blockage upon blockage and maneuvering, preventing the opposition from making their contribution. And I want you to listen to me carefully. On August 22nd, 2018, I dropped a question in Parliament, asking a question of the Prime Minister. I gave them a lot of time because we're going to Parliament on the 28th. That is Thursday coming. So almost a month I gave them. But you need 14 days minimum. And it's only last week I got a message telling me my question is out of order. The clerk of the House representing the Speaker told me that because of Section 23(2) of the Standing Orders and Section 86(2) and 3, also the Standing Orders, my question was out of order. And let me read my question to you, Dominicans at home and abroad. Listen carefully to the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, from the Member of Parliament from the Salisbury constituency, for oral response for the next meeting of Parliament, which is coming Thursday, the 20th of September. Will the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance provide this Honorable House with the following information pertaining to Ross University? Since 2017, that is A, since 2017, how many meetings were scheduled with Atelem Global Education to discuss Ross Universities? What were the dates of the meeting? How many meetings did you attend? What were the concerns raised by the official of Atelem in regards to Ross University returning to Dominica in January 2019? And C, when did you find out that Ross University was moving to Barbados? Is that question out of order? Dominicans, this what I asked of the Prime Minister, information that we need to find out why Ross left Portsmouth, why so many landlords, their buildings are empty, the small businesses within the Portsmouth area shut down. And just a while ago, I got a call from Portsmouth. Up to today, the Prime Minister of Dominica has not reached in Portsmouth to meet with the people. Magwesa. And you are telling me, as a member of Parliament, I am asking a question on behalf of the people, and the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the House, deemed that my question was out of order. I want you, Dominicans, to ask the Prime Minister these questions. Why is he sent out of Portsmouth? Why he has not addressed the people of Dominica? Read the reasons why Ross left. And all the small businesses in Portsmouth suffering. The landlords in and around Portsmouth. Brothers and sisters, Ross played a vital role in ensuring that our small businesses in the north survived. After Maria, money was made available to give small businesses around Dominica. They tried to bring in who they wanted. But the PS in that ministry said that everything have to be done above board. And you know what happened? The money was diverted to housing, because that is where they can do more ball with the money. I will tell you that is where they could do what they wanted with the money, because a lot of slackness is going on. Brothers and sisters, and if we just sit there and say let them and do what they want, no, we have to demand that they do what is right in the people's interests. Brothers and sisters, it's now or never. It is now or never. Change can no longer wait. Change can no longer wait. Brothers and sisters, recently, as I raise the point about small businesses, recently I tried, in my capacity as PAL rep, tried to assist the former parliamentary representative of Salisbury, Mr. Bryson Lewis, 93 years old. He was the host PAL rep in 1976, August 27, when we had the Salisbury Declaration, when we started the move for independence. Mr. Bryson Louis was the PAL rep of Salisbury. His house got damaged during Maria. There was a list sent out with monies on it for him. As I wind down, $33,000. And you know, all know, that was since in April, you know. And we are about 6-7 months. And the man have not received that money to do the repairs on his home. He's 93 years old. And they have saying that Hector John went to the village council for the money like I went for the money for myself. Instead of trying to help the gentleman, they're trying to label me as the bad person. And I want us to understand how these people are wicked and deceitful. I want you, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen at home and abroad, open your hearts, open your mind, because the United Workers' Party will be your next government. Open your hearts, open your mind, and ensure that Lennox Linton will be your next government. Open your hearts, open your mind, and bring in the United Workers' Party. Workers! Workers! Good night, and God bless.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a powerful man, but a humble man. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can recognize what I hold in my hand now. It is essentially a piggy bank. And that is why Rust left, ladies and gentlemen. Because the government of Dominica is building or intend to build an airport using a piggy bank style of financing, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, every country in the OECS has an international airport. But the man they claim that has a vision, ladies and gentlemen, tells us that he will allegedly put $5 million a month aside to build an airport while our young people continue to languish in hopelessness and unemployment, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I want to go into the Cottage constituency and call to address you one of our youngest candidates, ladies and gentlemen, a powerful man, a man that has spent a lifetime at Ross, ladies and gentlemen. I call to address you, Marcus Romaine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It's lovely to see you all tonight. Beautiful people. The United Workers' Party, strong, vibrant party, young, and very, very heartwarming. It's been a joy to be a part of the United Workers' Party. It's wonderful. You have a lot of candidates who basically show you love, who show you kindness, who hold your hand and carry you along the way. We have a lovely and wonderful and very ethical leader, Mr. Lennox Linton. Best there is, none to compare. And we will win the next election. We must win the next election. The United Workers' Party will bring peace, tranquility, and prosperity back to Dominica. What we had many years ago, but we have lost. It will return under the leadership of the Honorable Lennox Linton. Brothers and sisters, before I go into my speech, I would like to say thanks to the people of Cottage constituency, my friends and family in Lagon, my good buddies, the guys that have been carrying me through, helping me, and being there with me along the way. Cottage people, in me, you will have a wonderful representative, somebody who cares, who loves you, and who will look out for you. Because the United Workers' Party is all about development. The United Workers' Party is not about just giving, but about allowing you to make your own money. So although the party will help the people in need, although the party will help the people who need housing, we will help in agriculture, but we will also teach you how to make your dollar, brothers and sisters. That is what the United Workers' Party is all about. The United Workers' Party, brothers and sisters, is all about giving you the tools that you need to create a life for yourself in small business, agriculture. Brothers and sisters, we will carry you along the way. Let the United Workers' Party come into power. Give us the freedom that we deserve. Give us the freedom that we deserve. Let the people of Dominica make their own choices. I am asking that the Dominica Labour Party will allow free and fair elections in Dominica, brothers and sisters. We need free and fair elections. We need an election where the people will vote for who they want. This is showers of blessings, brothers and sisters. showers of blessings, but don't catch a cold. Yes, brothers and sisters, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. Basically, I worked at Ross for roughly 20 years. I understood the contributions that Ross made for the entire island. The United Workers' Party understood it, and sorry about that. So, brothers and sisters, we, the United Workers' Party, we understand what development is all about. We understand what development is all about, and that is what the United Workers' Party I wait in you. Sorry about that.